If you want everybody to get up out of the mud, you got to help them get it out of the mud. What's up, everybody? Ant Lamberts with Get Up Out of the Mud podcast. And yo, we changing things up a little bit. You know, this whole podcast thing has been something new for me as I'm trying to build a new platform to reach people, to motivate and inspire people, especially the youth is really where I'm going. So now I'm adding in guests a little bit because I really want to bring in my circle. I'm blessed to be connected with a lot of good people, a lot of entrepreneurial, spirited people. And this is my boy right here, Mr. Stock the Bar. I've been rocking with this dude for a minute, man. You know, when the owner of House of Styles, you know, where I bring my kids and myself in to get cleaned up. D always been rocking with me, and we gel right off the rip because we was just both into that hustling mind frame. And I use that word hustle a lot because in our culture, that's what we do. We hustle for everything. We get up out of the mud and we grind. But hustle and entrepreneurial is all about the same thing. It's just that whole mindset. I'm going to build my own business. I'm going to build my own brand. And there's a whole lot that goes into that. And I think that what I'm trying to get through with this podcast is to be able to let the youth know exactly what goes into it so it's not so fearful or scary to jump in. So, D, man, look, bro, you've been doing this thing, man. I've been watching you, bro.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for bringing me on here.
Man.
I appreciate it. You know, because you started this all to happen. You know, remember that, but when I had the party and I told you I had 400 people there, and you said, man, if I can get 3 clients, it's hard to get 400 people in an event.
To get 400 at anything,
and
bro.
I was like, that ain't really easy. That ain't hard for me. You know, I can do that.
Yeah.
That's not hard. And after that, man, I started turning our Stock the Bar events. My wife and I Stock the Bar events to a, you know, an annual thing. We started in our basement with 30 people. Everybody came and brought a fifth of liquor.
So what was the whole mindset to even start that, bro? Like, what made you even go that route?
Well, I'm from Ben Harbor in Kalamazoo, and I didn't have any friends. So I wanted to get my friends together and, you know, have a good time. And we got our basement built in our house. My wife and I, we got our basement built. And I said, let's have a party. Everybody bring a fifth of liquor to stock our bar with. And we called it Stock the Bar. And we had like 30, 40 people around the Floyd Mayweather fight, 2010. And it grew from there. One year we had over 200 people in our house. They came from California.
So at this point, it's just in the house.
It's just at the house.
Okay, because you grew from that point.
They shooting dice in the garage. We were feeding people. Everybody bring a fifth, put it on the table.
The old house party thing we did growing up in the 80s and 90s before the club was the spot.
So that's all it was. And my wife said, we can't do this no more.
So how many years was it in the basement?
It was at the basement till 2014, 4 years.
Damn.
4 years at the house, and it just grew. Pig Miller from Ben Harbor played in the NBA. He came from Atlanta. They came from Texas, North Carolina.
I remember cats looking on social media, cats flying and driving from Wisconsin.
They couldn't wait to come.
Yeah.
And then my wife said, we can't have it there. So a friend of mine that built our basement actually let us have it at his house outside. And I got 100 shirts printed up that said Stock the Bar.
So that's about the time I came around.
That's when you came around, is when I had that party and everybody, I sold 100 shirts. And they actually wore the shirts to the events. The girls was dressed up in the shirts. And
so they branded for you.
Yeah, it was 400.
You was building the brand, didn't even know you was building the brand.
It didn't start out like that. And so after that, he had it out there and you said, you came in the shop and you said, man, I seen the pictures. You said you should turn that into a business. I've never thought of that. That wasn't even on the radar. So 2015, we decided to have it and we hauled it $5 and a fifth. So we wanted to donate. I had a friend that I grew up with. Her daughter passed away years ago from cancer. So she was getting an endowment fund through Western Michigan University. So I said, well, let's get a crew together. We got 5 people together and let's donate some of these proceeds.
That's what I said.
And we got a crew together and was at a venue. And it was an event. We had like 250 people. So after that, the next year, 2016, we said, let's get some sponsors. So we started getting sponsors.
I remember that.
Remember you said,
hey, man, I need
sponsors. So I sell 400 shirts a year. I make in my basement that say Stock the Bar.
So you're doing it all yourself.
Yeah, me and Deborah.
You and Deborah. Deborah, you getting your props here today. Damn. Let the man breathe.
But yeah, so I started printing up shirts myself in my basement. And I haven't worn a shirt that says Stock the Bar on it in 6 years. So I started making shirts. I make 400 shirts a year. So I said, well, let's sell the shirts to fund the event. And I get sponsors. So we got like 10 sponsors. You sponsored it at Home Realty. But at the same time, you had the
RP scholarship growing.
You sponsored with both of them.
So you inspired me back. And I think a lot of times, man, like when dudes is out here hustling and building, it doesn't have to be about hatred. It can be all support, bro, because what I did is I kind of fueled myself off of you. At the same time you were doing that, I was starting the RP scholarship where I was taking percentages of my commission. Yeah. But watching your party flow, I was like, man, I can do that too, which is really where there would be no backspin without Stock the Bar. So you have to think about how your influence and how you grind. We didn't become competitors. No. Two totally different markets, but still doing something for the community. And without Stock the Bar, there wouldn't even be no backspin because that allowed me to say, well, maybe I can do this in this way. And where I don't have to compete with my brother, where there's enough for everybody. So, you know, Stock the Bar is like an inspiration all the way around, dope, bro. Like, and dude, I remember you just talking about even having a look before you even knew who you were going to go to get this done. How did that happen, bro? When it was, so you dreamt about it. You obviously had, because the party being based off of Liquor only made sense, right?
Yeah. So what happened, it was last 2019, man, I started doing YouTube videos. I watch Drink Champs all the time.
Okay.
And I said, well, I need to introduce people that I grew up with in Michigan about different alcohols besides the Hennessy, besides the Ciroc, because it's a lot made in Michigan.
It's a lot made in Michigan.
So that's what was my idea. Is I wanted to introduce people to different alcohols. My cousin said, "Well, start with Michigan." So I made podcast. I started doing YouTube videos and on Facebook.
I remember that in the basement, right?
In the basement. Yep. So when I give it 2 thumbs up, I buy these liquors that's from Detroit, different cities that made in Grand Rapids, and I taste them. I critique them. And I tagged a couple people, couple companies. And one of the companies that I tagged was Michigan Distillery in Lansing, Michigan.
Okay. And so that's a social media plug then. That's how you bumped into that?
Yeah, that's how. And the dude, Mike Bird, got in touch with me right away. And was like, man, I like what you're doing. I used to do podcasts, told me how to keep it short, do this and do that. I'm like, okay. So I did about 8 to 10 episodes. And next thing you know, he asked, would you like to come out with your own liquor? And I said, nobody does that.
So let me ask you this. This is a great point for me to ask you this question because I think this is something that people that want to get into their own business or build their own creations. Did you have any like type of inferior feelings going into that? Like maybe you didn't understand enough about the product, or maybe, you know, we come from the inner city life. Yeah. We weren't born in, we didn't have a lot of connections.
That's right.
We didn't have a lot of dealing with people on a high level in business at all. Did you have any internal feelings, like maybe just feeling inadequate going into that, or were you confident?
Yeah.
So you had them feelings, no confidence,
not 1 ounce of confidence.
So how did you overcome that? Was it just moving forward? Was
first,
it a thought process? Prayer.
That's what I did first, and my wife, because she had to back me on this because it wasn't her passion.
Thanks, Deborah.
Because she didn't know nothing about liquor. I didn't know nothing about liquor. I had nobody to even talk to ask about how to sell alcohol.
Okay.
Nobody I Googled, I asked. These are companies.
So the dudes that you met through social media, which is another great point, how social media can be used for positive.
Yes.
It ain't always got to be world star and a bunch of drama. You can really get, I built my entire brand on social media.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Back in the day, we had to go get newspapers. You got to be knocking on doors. So the use was free to you, right? Like, why do we have to make everything so complicated? Your own social media showing money in your ear like a phone. You're doing all the corny stuff, but you could really build your business because basically he's telling you that's where he got his start. So then what happened? Them dudes get you and they walked you through it?
Mike Bird walked me through every process of it. But I got up at 4:30 every morning and I prayed first. I meditated and I went to Mr. Burger every morning for 10 months.
Routine.
I did that and I read books. Now I read, because I read that every millionaire read 4 to 5 books a month. I read 4 to 5 books a month because I said I can't cheat the system if it's not just going to come to me.
It's a recipe, bro.
Yeah,
it's a recipe, bro.
I had to follow the recipe.
You do.
And that's what I did as I wrote every entrepreneurial book, read every entrepreneurial book, and I just studied. And I printed out 5,000 flyers. I broke 3 printers and sent them to every friend I know before the vodka was even coming out.
I remember that, bro. Signs.
I was selling. They was taking them to stores.
Yeah.
In different states. And when I went out to sell to these stores, they already knew who we were.
So that brings another topic then, which is good for the youth to hear. Did you meet any adversity and rejection along that ride? Like, You didn't just walk into every store and everybody was like,
No.
I'm gonna put Stock the Bar on the shelves.
I'm gonna tell you what, maybe one, maybe not.
Maybe one?
Because the story sold it. I went to the local stores. I'm from 3 cities. These people were showing me love, man. The people on social media show me so much love because none of this would be possible without any of them.
Right.
I can't do this, you know? So couple rejections, they hurt, but I got over them real quick, man, because I was like, it's supposed to hurt. It's supposed to be some rejection.
And it can fuel you. Like I get fueled by rejection. Like if somebody tells me I can't do something, and I think to be an entrepreneur, you got to have them type of nuts, really. Let's just call it what it is. You got to have balls. Like I get told no way more than I get told yes. But once you find that rhythm, it's like a jump shot, man. Once you find where you shooting at and you get it dialed in, it's just bucket after bucket. So, and I remember like in the so this is what I say about Stock the Bar is it is about the story to me. It's a great liquor. Mm-hmm. That story makes you want to. It makes you want to get away from the Belvederes and the Hennessy's and all that stuff. Because here's the main thing, bro. Like you really giving back with it. Yeah. So Hennessy ain't giving nothing back to our people. If anything, it's getting us locked up.
Because we donate money from each bottle. I've been donating to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Ben Harbor, Kalamazoo, and Grand Rapids for the last 5 years.
Man,
you know, I finally got in contact with the Grand Rapids president, and we talk. You know, I donate hand sanitizer. We donate meals, whatever they need. This is because I grew up in Kalamazoo where I played at the Boys and Girls Club. They helped me.
Yeah. So you're bringing it back to where you know.
I have to.
Because you know what you got out of it.
Yeah. I'm only child, but I know that people need things. And the youth need things. And, you know, I don't have any kids, so I have to help out other kids. And this vehicle is, for me, success for this Stock the Bar vodka is so someone can come to me one day and say, I need to start something. Can you help me? And that's all I want to do this for.
That's what I'm trying to do too, bro. So it's perfect what we're doing here because I feel like, especially in our culture, we got to start making our own, bro. Mm-hmm. There's no reason like an example of that is the Robinhood app for stocks on the phone, right? When the pandemic happened, I jumped on Robinhood and started messing with stocks. And I started to learn a little bit. And as 6 months went by, I really had a rhythm. I knew what I was doing. I started to get some income coming off it. And I'm thinking to myself, why I never had this 20 years ago? How come this one taught? It's because the internet has brought everything to our right in the forefront now. You can grab and do anything that you want. So the Stock the Bar, it's crazy to me because I remember when it was just an idea.
I know, man. God, man.
And now you in Myers, right?
We will be in May.
You come into Myers in May?
Yeah, man, we will be in Myers in May.
And I'm seeing people in other states showing their bottles. So
we're trying to get it out of state now through distribution. So I'm doing a few things with the distribution company, trying to figure out it's all about sales. They don't care about nothing else in the alcohol business, I learned.
Okay, let me ask you this then. So did you run into any type of racial discrimination along this grind? Or did you find that when you was in the flow, that was something that it didn't maybe rub you away to where you noticed it? Or did you see some up front? Like I've seen in my grind, some racist elements come towards me, usually in just forms of trying to stop me from the progress. Maybe it's just a constant rejection with really no reason for rejection. Doesn't mean it was just blatant racism, but I could feel it. Did you feel that in this grind at all? Is this something that wasn't there for you? I didn't. That's what's up.
The reason I didn't is because you helped me along the way. I remember one time you said, man, friends on my page, make them your friends. And you had a lot of friends because you're a realtor into people that's not Black or Hispanic. And you know, man, I learned along this journey that it's a lot of good people. I thought it was a lot of bad people. And it is, but I've ran across, because this could not be, we couldn't make it in Myers within a year without good people.
No,
alcohol don't make it in Myers.
And good people follow good people, bro. And that was kind of my point. I've always wondered, like, when people are pumping something on Facebook and they're starting to get likes, if those people say they like what you're doing, you friend them.
Yes.
Right?
You told me that.
If the haters won't like it at all. Usually the haters will just bounce. They'll get out. They'll either, they'll say some shit and then they'll get out of the way. But I knew that I had people, and there's people, man, listen, man, people love a story, man. Yeah. People like to buy into a story because it's real and we're real people, right? Yeah. We can't really relate to the owners of Hennessy. No. We can't relate to the owners of
Tito's. And they got good stuff.
They got good stuff.
But I'll tell them in a minute. Is Tito's gonna come pick you up from the mall? If your car break down, guess who's gonna come?
Who gonna bond you out? Yeah, who gonna bond you out?
But that's the only thing is I say, do you know Tito?
Do you know him?
Me? But other than
that's
that,
a good point.
Man,
no, that's a good point though. And I think too, like what I try to do in my business is never get so high up that I feel like I'm above the people. Mm-hmm. I'm always amongst the people because everything that happens to me successful usually does happen for somebody else. It don't even be my own doing. It be talking to the right person. Being open. So like the reason I asked that question is I think it's easy to go into business, and a lot of business owners, they are white. There's way more white business owners and connections than there are blacks. That's a fact right now. It doesn't mean that that's not changing or we're not in a road of changing that, but there can be some, I've seen some youth feel like they'll have great ideas. They'll have good work ethic. And one thing they'll say is, man, them people ain't gonna mess with me. If you got that mindset, you took yourself, because I feel like I'm as good as you.
Yes.
And what I've learned is when you just start talking to them, it's like-minded because they're trying to go up too. We're all trying to go up together. So, and you know what's cool is when I'm on your social media, I'll see my friends that I've known for years liking your stuff, buying the bottles, bro. I mean, I look at it, that was the right play.
It was the right play. And what helped me along the way, man, like I said, we own a barbershop, House of Styles. My father-in-law, EJ, it's been there since 1959.
So that's really how we met again,
that's
bro.
How we met.
So
see, the House of Styles helped all of this.
Because it's the barbershop, man. It's a connection, right? I had somebody the other day say to me, why you drive all the way to GR to get your hair cut? You can do it here in Muskegon. Man, I'm driving all over there because that's my vibe. Them are my people, man. I love everybody in there. I've been going to House of Styles, man, since I was 13-year-old. EJ was he cut my hair for my prom, bro. Yeah, man. So when I got out the joint, man, and started to get my life back together, I wanted to bring my child somewhere that I had been. So we kind of handed down. And now AJ runs around your shop. He know everybody.
Yeah, that's right.
He gets into the conversations with people, you know.
And that's what it's about, man.
And it's really a great spot for you because it's a hub of building.
Man.
Anything you need there. You connected me with doctors in there, owners in there, accountants in there.
Vodka got to getting out there because of the good people that come through there that spread the word. It's unbelievable. People knew about this before it was even out.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Now because every day, bro, and that's another thing too, like the marketing that you do is top of the line.
Well,
and it's simple.
Yeah.
It's repetitive. So I know in sales, I was always taught 9 touches till you get a sale. So that means if I go knock on the door and the lady says, no, she doesn't want to refinance or sell her house, if I hit her about 9 times, the chances go up that I'm going to get it, right?
That's right.
You do that on social media. I do that on social media. I've had people, man, say to me, you're on social media too much.
Yeah.
Hey, man, why every time I look on social media, I'm there, man, don't worry about me.
That ain't it, man.
And you know what? I let people get in my head in the beginning. They be like, oh, you a social media dude. You ain't even living real life.
Me too.
But the whole time I was cashing checks though, bro. And it was because people were seeing me. Yeah. So now when I put up a house, or now when I say buy a GetUpOutTheMud sweatshirt, they've seen it so much they understand what it is. It's comfortable. Yeah. I use that sign before I was really into social media. I was doing billboards and mailings. Mm-hmm. That stuff was costing me $2,500 a month to keep a billboard up for all the cars to see me. I'm sending mailers out, them $400 a pop.
That's right.
Once I started taking all that stuff and putting it on social media, I'm in front of thousands of people. And your t-shirts, I mean, that's kind of like, I seen a guy once say, you should never be broke in America as long as people wear t-shirts.
I believe that.
You can put your story on the t-shirt, put your brand on the t-shirt, put your feelings on the t-shirt.
I don't wear nothing that don't say Stock and
Man, I'm GetUpOutTheMud. That's I stay with it. It's my brand.
I done even made polos, so when I go to church, I can still have a polo on. It's going. I mean, you know, it is what it is, man. That's so.
That brings us to another thing, man. It's like we are our own brand. Yes. We're our own brand. So how we conduct ourselves, who we're talking to, how we're handling adversity says a lot about our brand. And I've had an issue in the last couple of weeks where I had an individual who was hating on me that was going to social media to hurt the brand. But I built the brand up so strong that it couldn't be broken, right? And that comes from, I think, caring for other people and what you're doing. When I sell somebody a house, I really want them to get a good house. I want it to be a home for them. I think about the kids waking up knowing that this is their home, the bus picking them up at the corner, knowing where they live. It's the same thing when you pump in the vodka. You believe in the vodka and the good that it does, right?
Yeah, man. That's why I call it smooth taste with a purpose.
Yeah.
Because it's a smooth taste. Yeah, we are selling vodka and everybody don't hear that. But what's coming from out of this bottle is going to help somebody.
For sure.
It's going to definitely help somebody, and one day I really will be able to bless somebody with something significant I couldn't get blessed with.
But you're probably blessing them with something significant,
I'm trying,
right? Because
man.
a lot of times you don't see the good you do until you're down the line and you look back. Because think about all the young people that are like, say, man, if this dude could do this from nothing.
Yeah, I really believe.
Why couldn't I take these shoes or this clothing line?
I want to make my people proud. Yeah, I want to make friends I knew proud, man, to be like, man, because I'd heard that from a couple friends, man. When I go back to Ben Harbor, man, and them dudes would be like, man, we proud of you, little Daryl. They call me little Daryl. Man, that brings tears to my eyes because,
Because we all want somebody to be proud of us, right? Like that ain't like we soft. If we anything I do, man. Like success, a lot of times I think success feels good. It's not about the money. It's about that you did something productive, right? You changed somebody's life or you influenced somebody in a good way. So let me ask you this. Where are you planning on? I like to talk to the people about dreams. Mm-hmm. You always want to go, like I have dreams of where I want to be with Get Out. So Get Up Out of the Mud, my dream for that is to become a nationally known mentor group where I got teams across the United States that are helping people in football, basketball, how to be an entrepreneur, start a business, run a business. I got a friend named Nick Sarnicola out in Miami, grew up in Grand Rapids with me, that's really good at like branching off and focusing on teaching entrepreneurship. Because I feel like I had a guy say to me once talking about reparations. I don't want to get too deep. But the thought of reparations in our culture, I like the idea, but I don't see how it works without us having a core fundamental idea of how to run businesses and grow businesses, not work for anybody, to take our own credit, because we're good at everything that we do. No matter where you put the black man at, we always succeed if it's an even playing field and we're not pushed down. Right. We're successful in it. How do we get the young kids to be like, you know what? Got a lot of kids focusing on rap. Got a lot of kids focusing on basketball, but they can own a liquor. Yeah. They can own a mentorship program.
They can.
They can do anything they want, but it's the work that goes into it. Like you getting up at 4:30 in the morning, pressing your own t-shirt. We all got to start somewhere, right? Yeah. Like I'm sure you wanted it to be able to.
I'm tired of it.
You're tired of it.
That's why I want to outsource like it.
So you want to outsource. So that's where I was leading is, what is your dream for Stock the Bar from this point? Your big dream that you're like, man, if this was to happen,
I just want Stock the Bar to be nationwide. And I want the vodka to be in every store in the country, in the world. Yeah. I do, because I dream about it. I take my mom to Myers every Monday. I'm supposed to be at Myers this Monday, and I told her I can take her tomorrow. This is every Monday we go to Myers, and I look at the shelves in Myers, and I stare, and I say, Mama, we're going to be in there one day. And when I got that email a month ago and said, you've been accepted to Myers, now we walk past there, and my mama say, yeah, little, you're going to be up there.
You're going to be there.
That's every Monday, man. My mom, every Monday I visioned this since last February.
Vision. One of the most underestimated deals in business is vision, right? And being free enough to make your vision what you want. Yeah. And then going and looking at it. The fact you go into the store and looking at that shelf and imagining that's that law of attraction. Has law of attraction not worked for you, bro?
Yeah, it works, bro.
It works, man. It could be slow motion.
It is. But I don't know any other path to take because nobody's told me a path to take. So it's fast. It's like I've been in this 10 years now.
It's fast.
Because we in D&W, we in 8 D&Ws in Spartan Nash stores.
And you went right at that.
We went right at that. They got with us, before the pandemic hit.
Pandemic? How have you been affected during the pandemic? Has your sales gone up?
Sales are okay. Sales have not been down. But you can't get more sales because you can't get out and touch people. You can't have.
So the marketing aspect of it, even though people are drinking more.
Yeah, they're drinking more, but you can't get out there and to
really push it.
You can't do tastings in stores and things like that. That's okay. I'm not worried about that.
Is that something you're going to get back to when it opens?
Can't wait. I'm planning on it now. I can't wait.
So you're not. So that's the thing too. Is I feel like people in business are like, you find ways to make it happen. Every year ain't an up year.
That's right.
You know, this thing is a roller coaster ride, man.
Yeah.
And there's times, bro, where I'm flying. I learned young when I was up on my highs. You know, I hit the casino with my boys and roll the dice and get to blowing my money. And then I hit a dip.
That's right.
It would be upsetting myself, why I'm in this dip. And then I talk to business owners like, man, if everything was climbing, we'd all just be business owners. You got to have the balls to ride that roller coaster. Pandemic's a roller coaster.
My father-in-law said that years ago, man. He said, life is a roller coaster. He said, but when you're doing good, you put up money.
Yeah.
That's when you're doing good, you put
it away.
Because you know, he's 85, so he done seen the roller coaster of roller coasters.
So you sacrificed some things in your life to get this. It ain't like you started with $100K and was just go at it.
My wife and I put our money in it. I was gonna sell my car.
That's what I'm trying. So that's the shit that
I was gonna sell my car. And my wife said, because this wasn't her vision, but she was okay with me doing it.
Thanks, Deborah.
But no, that's, and that's real, because nothing I've ever done with Stock the Bar has ever come out of our home money. I've sold shirts, used tips to fund Stock the Bar parties.
Yeah.
This always never come out of our home money. I said, baby, I'm gonna sell my car. She bought me this car, 86 442, 70,000 miles. I could get 25,000 for this car. I said, I'm gonna sell my car. She said, well, if you want to. 2 days later, I had a dream that some guy said, don't sell your car. And I told her, we sitting on our way, getting ready to go to work. She said, I had the same dream. Don't sell your car. We'll fund this ourselves.
That was the energy coming back saying,
yes.
Because now sometimes they got to see too, like she had to see.
Oh, she all in
that
now.
You was in.
Yes.
Because when you get ready to sell something you love.
Yes.
And that's kind of when I got into real estate. I was down to my last ducats, bro. And I said, you know what? I remember I was in the swimming pool with my older son, man, and we was talking. I said, I'm about to do this real estate thing. You know, I got about $350 left. Yeah. It's going to cost me $240 to get this license.
That's right.
I'm about to just do this shit.
That's right.
And then if I get in the minute I got my license,
it was over.
It was over, man. I was knocking on doors. I was sending letters. I was putting billboards up. You know, I come in and just talk and brainstorm with you, man.
Yeah, man. This is a passion. Like, again, I hate to keep going back to my father-in-law, but he said you work hard for something you got a passion for. You will work hard. And right now,
you can't wait to wake up.
Man.
Because every day you wake up, you got a clean slate to start again. Yeah. People be like, man, Tony, you don't never sleep. I'll be like, dude, I can't sleep. My brain is like dreaming
because of the shop. Right. Be thinking about how we going to do this. What'll do the pandemic? You know, the shop was down 3 months.
Yeah.
Light bills still stay the same. We
everything.
Fighting with consumers' energy.
Adversity,
why it's the same? But it is.
And it's easy at that point to fold in and be like, man, society did this. Yeah. Well, I had a lot of people. It just wasn't in the cards.
That's right.
Like I see the restaurant owners going through the pandemic, man. I understand it ain't easy. The money is cut back, right? But you better figure that shit out, right?
You have to try.
You bet. They started building little buildings outside the building.
They are doing it.
And you know what, man? I told the dude the other day, I waited like 3 hours to get through a couple. I said, they still doing good. They ain't got to pay waiters. They got one cook, one phone.
Some of them done acclimated real good. They done pulled
it worked for them. They was like, you know what, we can keep this COVID shit.
They is, man.
For real.
So,
you keep this shit.
It's just ways around it, man. But I'm all in, man. I'm all in because I know what it can do for other people. By me, I cut hair. I own a barbershop, man. I'm going to be all right. Yeah. I'm going to always be all right as long as I'm physically able.
Yeah.
This is going to be something different that's going to help a whole generation.
Just a passion that's going to help others, which is where I'm going to, just the helping the others. So as we close it up, let me ask you this. What can you tell the youth? What is one of the number one things they should start with first when building a business? I always say, for me, you have to dream first. Your brain is where it's at. You can be all physical and do all the show up, but if you ain't right here, then you automatically lose yourself. You got anything that you could share with the youth about what you do?
I say, man, first and foremost, stay prayed up. Because none of this is possible without God. I'm gonna tell you that. I've seen it happen in a year with that prayer. With that determination and consistency. Do what you say you're going to do all the time.
All the time.
And there's good people out here, man. I really believe it.
So, bro, you inspired me, man. You know I love you like a brother, man. I've grown my business, and there would be no backspin or any of that without watching you grinding every day. When I see you come across my line, bro, I'll be proud of you, man. So I appreciate everything about you, man. No doubt. All right, y'all. I hope you learned a little bit here. We'll be back next week with another guest and work this whole thing and teaching you how to be an entrepreneur, the mindset and everything that goes with it. You can go to my website, GetUpOutTheMud.com, and get your merchandise. I use all the money from the merchandise to help out in the community. So we did a Thanksgiving deal. We did some Christmas stuff. The next thing I'd like to do is build up some money for programs. It's for sports coming in the spring and summer when the kids can get back outside. There's a lot of kids that need shoes, helmets, basketball, shorts, and stuff like that. So I'm going to take the money from all my merchandise sales and put it towards that. I appreciate you. Catch you next week. If you want everybody to get up out of the mud, you got to help them get